I'm sorry. So glad that you're here today. So we are here for the 10x video formula for entrepreneurs. I've called this a couple of things. I've also called it the 10x video formula for introverts. Really, it's the 10x video formula for introverted introverts. If you want to make a difference in the world, if you want to grow your business and you believe in the power of video, you don't know how to use it, this web class is for you. So I'm going to share some of the things that I have learned as a filmmaker that will help you to actually use this as a tool, kind of like an entrepreneurial tool, so that you can you can pivot. Anyway, you can never give up. Okay. So anyway, hopefully that helps you. So this really is how to be seen as a trusted expert and grow your business and your impact using the new wave of trusted source video. So with that, let me just make sure. Oh, and feel free to add stuff into the chat. I will get to those chat comments as I can. One of the things that I will point out, just starting out here, is it's just me. I don't have a virtual assistant here. I don't have a video team or a crew or anybody, moving the stuff behind. It's just me running the show here and moving things around. And it's you and me having a little conversation. The reason that I point that out to you here is in this whole thing, I want to ingrain in your mind that you can do this too. You can use video in remarkable ways to grow your business, to grow your influence, to make a fantastic impact in the world. So with that, let's see. Okay. Yeah. So this webinar, this web class is for people who want to exponentially grow their business. They feel like they're meant for something more. They want to be a force for good in the world, and they need to have their voice heard. It's different than needing to say something, to be valued that way, but that you have something inside of you. You have this little voice in your head saying, you need to tell people this, you need to share what you have, you need to make the world a better place. If that sounds like you're in the right place. Okay, who this is not for? This is not for people who are content to just stay the same. Whether that means them stay the same, or it means the world stay the same. It's not for them. It's not for those who want to get rich quick, and it's not for those who want to become internet famous. Okay. This is for those people who want to make a living making a difference. And I'm going to share with you the secrets that help you do this. Okay. It's for heart-centered entrepreneurs, people who are working to make the world a better place, and you want to serve as many people as you possibly can. Video is absolutely going to help you with that. And I'm going to share how you can do that. Okay. So with that, let me turn off this screen and you and I'll just chat for just a minute. So let me tell you a little bit about my story, who I am. So my name is Scott Wilhite. I am a commercial filmmaker. And, I got into filmmaking the totally backwards way. I started out as an advertising copywriter, and then I got this job as a writer-director at this place that did fundraising films. And I remember doing my first commercial for them. And we had hired this fantastic crew. There were 22 people on the crew. There's this big semi truck, and he's unloading. I mean, they're all unloading over there. And me and the director of photography, George Greiner, start walking across this grassy, this beautiful courtyard, and the back of this amazingly old, beautiful building. And I said, George, so you're the director of photography and I'm the director. So what is it that you do and what do I do? And I just had no clue, had no idea how that all worked. And he was kind enough to show me the ropes. And it turns out I was really pretty good at it. You can see some of my awards. I call that the Wall of Confidence. But I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you here. Can you be successful and unhappy? Can you be successful and unsatisfied? Well, that's where I was. Here I am winning all these awards. I'm doing beautiful creative stuff, and I feel inside like there's something more that I am to give, and I don't know how to get it out there. I feel like I have a bigger purpose, a bigger mission, a calling to do, and I don't know how to get that out there, and I'm really frustrated. And I remember, so I'm working at this place. We do fundraising films, and most of my films were shown to small groups of people. Generally, it was like a family or a little group of people. At the most, it was like 300 or 500 people packed into a ballroom. But when they would play my films there, like I felt so confined. I couldn't get beyond those four walls. I couldn't get my message out there. And it was so frustrating to me. And I became very volatile. I was always kind of lashing out. And I told myself this lie that, oh, that's just the baggage you get from a creative person. I mean, it's what you get. And it was a lie, but I started to believe it. And I started to believe that's who I was. And it was absolutely horrible, but I didn't know how to get out of that cycle. Well, I remember blowing up at a coworker, and that was kind of their last straw. They said they'd had enough, and they showed me the door. Well, on that last day there, I ran into this guy, and he had this book under his arm. We got talking. He said he was on the science of happiness. Oh my goodness, there was something within me that just wanted to reach out and grab that out of his hands, because I thought, that's what I need. Science of happiness. That makes it sound like it's repeatable, like you can follow a formula. And so I ran to the bookstore. I got that book. I started consuming every other book I could find on the subject. The topic is positive psychology. And at that time, the field was still relatively new. It had only been out about 15 years. And I had never heard about it. I mean, I'd been searching for this and I couldn't find it. And so anyway, so I start consuming all of these different books. And one of the things that I noticed is that these social scientists are tricking people in these experiments so that they could get them into a state of greater gratitude, or being in a state where they're fully present, or they would get them serving other people. And when they would trick people like this, they always got them into a higher state of happiness. And I started to kind of put the pieces together, and I thought, what if you could approach happiness like it was a skill? And that if you could deliberately get yourself into a better state of gratitude or present, all of these things. And I developed these skills of happiness, and I ran it by a psychologist friend of mine. And he had actually been teaching positive psychology. He had left his psychology practice because he found people could heal themselves better by themselves with their own mind when they understood the principles of positive psychology. Well, when I shared to him this idea that what if happiness is a skill? He was like, Scott, that is a game-changing idea. That is a breakthrough idea. And he has forever since been using that idea in his practice. Okay, so here I have this fantastic idea, and I feel like, okay, here's how I can make my worth in the world. Here's how I can make my contribution. Let me turn on my slides again here. And I thought, okay, what if I write a book and I create an app and kind of gamify how to get these skills. And then I create some films so that we can promote it. And then I've got a business. Okay. So that's what I did. I wrote a book. We made this app. It's an amazing app. And we sunk all of our 401k into creating these 3 films to promote this new idea, this new business. And it tanked. It tanked. I couldn't get this idea out there. Here, I had this amazing game-changing idea, this life-saving, this marriage-saving idea, and I couldn't get my voice out there into the world. Oh my goodness. That was so frustrating. It was so incredibly frustrating. Do you know what it feels like to have this life-saving idea and not be able to get it out there? Do you have ideas? Do you have thoughts? Do you have systems that can help other people? And you're trying to figure out, how do I get my message out there? How do I do this? Okay, that's the boat, the same boat that we've been in, okay? And I was super frustrated with this. And I thought, well, you know what? If only I could get my exposure for my idea like an influencer. Like I see these people all the time, and video crews are following them around, and photographers are taking pictures of them, and people are listening to them. And as an introvert, I just thought, oh, if only I could find a way to have people listen to my ideas, they would accept them. It would change their world. It would change my world too. And I thought being an influencer is the way to do that. And if you have a message, and if it pains you to not be able to share that message, okay, you can add that into the chat. Tell me what your message is, what you would like to share, how you'd like to be able to help other people. And where I was looking at these influencers, and I was thinking, if only I could do it like them, then I would have this amazing way to help people. Okay, I thought if I were an influencer, I could easily share my message. I could effectively grow my business, and I could do more good for more people. And video is what I need. Even though as a filmmaker, I didn't know how to use it for me and for my ideas. And I thought that is the key. Video makes influencers. Well, there's a huge problem with this. And the huge problem is I don't want to be an influencer. I mean, I don't want to have video crews following me around and, taking video of me and my life and everything. And I don't want to have photos taken of me. And I don't want the spotlight on me. I want the spotlight on my idea, on this thing that can help other people. Happiness is a skill. So I didn't want to be an influencer. I remember talking to a friend of mine, and he said, you know what? I don't want to be an influencer, but I do want to have influence. Okay, one of the things that I have found is that there is a difference, and we can use that difference and show up authentically as ourselves and make that difference in the lives of others. Okay, so the breakthrough idea that I have for you is if you can become a trusted source. Okay, you can have influence, you can give influence to others without being an influencer. If you're thinking like Kardashians or just lifestyle kind of people, you can actually share your messages, be that trusted source on helping other people improve their lives, whether that's improve their economy, improve their health, improve their wellness, improve their relationships. You have that opportunity as a trusted source. And what we're going to talk about today is how trusted source video it's the secret weapon of the introvert or of the entrepreneur or of the heart-centered person who really has an idea that can help the world. Trusted source video lets you serve, sell, and scale. Okay. Now, what I'm going to share with you is the 3 secrets of what I call the introvert's advantage, how to create a thriving online business using trusted source video. Now, you might be thinking, oh, yeah, well, okay, but video won't work for me. What's really going on there is fear. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I'm too private, I'm too shy, I'm too introverted, I'm too quiet, I'm too whatever, or I can't afford it or anything like that. All of these things it's fears that are keeping us living small. And I want to get rid of that fear. I want you to live your full life as who you can be. So I'm going to share with you 3 secrets that when you understand these, it's going to get rid of your fears. It's going to get rid of your limiting beliefs. It's going to change this state that you're in where you just don't know what you don't know. And we're going to talk about that. So first of all, the first secret is how to make money using the new wave of trusted source video that favors good, honest people. Now, with that, I'm going to just turn off my slides for just a minute so I could just talk to you and share a couple of stories so that you could see what it is we're talking about. Okay, so first of all, it was, I don't know how many years ago it was. My son was 3 years old. He's 17 now, so you can do the math. We took a family trip and we went to Disneyland. And they had this they had a show there it was for young Jedis. They were training Padawans. And it was this whole Star Wars theme thing. And you know how they call employees at Disneyland cast members? Well, the cast members were running around. They were, getting people excited. My son was so excited about this show. He got there early and he sat on the front row. And the cast members come around. Who wants to be in the show? We need some volunteers. And my son raises his hand. Sorry. It pains me to think about this whenever I do, because I'm looking at him and I'm thinking they're never going to choose him, because I look at all these other kids and they're jumping out of their seats and they're crazy excited. They're showing what they're going to look like on stage, and their excitement's going to come across. And these extroverts, that's who's going to get noticed. And my son's never going to get his chance because he's raising his hand like he's in church. He's quiet, he's shy, he's introverted, he's little, and he's never going to get that chance. If you feel like you're not going to be able to get your voice out there, if you feel like the world is against you because you're too quiet, you're too shy, I got to tell you, miracles happen. So the miracle for that story was they did pick my son. And he went up there with all the other kids. There's a big line of them. And they taught each one of them these different moves that they could do with their lightsabers. And then Darth Vader and the stormtroopers came out. And each kid got a stormtrooper. And finally they got to my son. And he's the littlest guy. And he battles Darth Vader. And he'd forgotten all the training that they had taught him. And so he just went at him kind of crazy, just nuts. And the crowd went nuts. They loved it. He was the hit. Everyone just loved who he was and what he was about. Okay, I got to tell you, the miracle has changed in the world, and you have that opportunity to be out there too. You can share your message, you can share your business, you can share what it is that you have to offer, your ideas, your thoughts, your systems, your frameworks, and you can make a difference in the lives of others, even if you're quiet and shy and introverted. Okay, so let me explain the concept of Web 3.0. Okay, so the idea is like it's the third wave of the web. So I remember when I first got into advertising, I was doing internet stuff. Anyway, when businesses first got into the internet, they realized, and this is like, and I'm doing too much history on that. Okay, the first wave of the web happened when all of these businesses started to realize, hey, if we got online, we could sell our products to anybody, and they don't have to live close enough to come into a store. Okay, e-commerce came around, and suddenly now they can sell to anybody, anywhere, and that all happens through this portal of the internet. That's wave one. Wave one. Wave two happens, and now, and it's kind of the start of websites and things. All of these the kind of smaller businesses realize you buy from those you know, like, and trust. Everyone only knows the big brands. Well, now we're in this new area, this new field, of the internet. People don't know exactly what these new businesses are. If we look as professional as those other guys, if we have a really fancy website, they're going to buy from us because they're going to think we are just like them. So Web 2.0 came out, and if you could have a fancy website, if you look super professional, people would buy from you. Okay, Web 3.0 is here, and people don't realize the change has happened. Web 3.0 is that we've been burned by those people who have fancy websites and they don't deliver on great products. And so we do the research. I mean, you don't buy anything from Amazon without finding out what other people have said about it. You don't enlist someone into doing service for you unless you find out more about that person. We're used to doing that research. We're wanting that authenticity. We're wanting truly to connect with them as a real person. Okay. People don't recognize that we're in Web 3.0 and they're still living in the second wave of the web. And they're trying to look super professional, and they're trying to come across faults because they want to be perceived a certain way, when really what needs to happen is they need to show up as themselves. So let me tell you a couple of stories to illustrate this. So there's a lady that I follow, and she does retreats. Well, I don't really do retreats, but I've kind of been thinking maybe someday I will. Well, one day I get an email from her, and she talks about this video that I was kind of interested in the topic. And I start watching this video, and she looks horrible. I mean, her hair's a mess. I don't know if she even has makeup on. She just looks horrible. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? Then she starts to tell her story. She had been away at this conference and she had this game-changing idea. So she called up her video crew. She said, my plane lands at this time. I want to come straight in and get these ideas down and recorded while they're still fresh in my mind, while I still feel this. I want to get it just while it's fresh. And that's what she did. And I thought, how remarkable. She cares more about those people that she's serving than she cares about how she looks to the people she's serving. I thought that's the kind of person I want to be associated with. And I've followed her ever since. Okay, when you show up authentically, when you show up real, people can look in your eyes, they can hear your sincerity, they can truly connect with you. Okay, so one more story. A friend of mine he's a drone pilot. He does a lot of commercial work for Ford and all sorts of crazy big companies. Well, he also teaches other people how to have their own drones, how to have their business being drone pilots, to where they can fly them, but they can also sell to other people, sell their services. And he would do webinars like this, and at the end, people can buy into his services. Well, in this one webinar he's doing, he has his fly come around in his room, and it's driving him nuts. And so in the middle of his webinar, he stops and he's like getting a chair and he's trying to swat this fly and he's trying to get rid of it. And people are still online and they're looking at him like he's nuts. But then they think, I like him. He's real. This is a real guy. I like who he is. I like what he's about. And they bought more of his services from that webinar than any other web class that he had done. Okay, when we show up as ourselves, when we show up real and authentic, that's when we can make that true connection with other people. Okay, that's what Web 3.0 is all about. That's where when we recognize what's really going on here, we can truly connect with people and make that great difference. And if you are ever thinking, oh, if only they knew what was in my heart, then they would buy from me. Then we'd have this business, or then I would be able to serve, with my ideas. Okay. The best way to do this is with video. Again, because they can look in your eyes, they can hear the sincerity of your voice, and they can truly connect with you, and you become that trusted source. Okay. We buy from those we know, like, and trust. And video shortcuts that learning curve to where they know, like, and trust you. They get to know you, right? Video lets you serve, sell, and scale just by being you. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that beautiful? Okay, now what if you could make a living making a difference by being more you than you have ever been before? That is the opportunity that is around today. That is what Web 3.0 brings us. That's what video brings us. And you now have this great opportunity. So, secret number two that I'm going to share with, well, actually, so secret number one really translates into how to make money using the new wave of trusted source video that favors good, honest people. Okay, what would you like to be the trusted source of? Now, again, I'm the only one running this. I don't have a virtual team or anything like this. So put it into the chat, and I will pull those in as I can, and share those with the rest of the group. But think about it. What would you like to be the trusted source of? If someone were to come to you, what would you have the insights and the wisdom and the knowledge that if you were the trusted source, oh, you could really help them out? Well, I have a friend who she is a wonderful artist, but she's also learned a lot of things through painful experiences. And she wants to be the trusted source for healing those suffering the corporate trauma cycle. I mean, you've met people like that. They follow the American dream and they find out it's more of a mirage, and they end up feeling empty and bitter and all. Anyway, she's figured out a few things on helping people get out of the corporate trauma cycle, and she helps them with that. So she would like to be the trusted source for healing those suffering from the corporate trauma cycle. Okay, so now you may be thinking, yeah, but I can't afford a video crew. Can you follow a formula? Okay, what's really going on here is that you don't know what's possible. And I'm going to show you a few things that I think are really going to open your eyes. Okay, so secret number two is what I call the impact to income formula. This is how to create prolific content without having to hire or wait for a video crew. Okay, with that, let me tell you another story. Okay. So, man, it was like 20 years ago, something like that. My wife and I wrote a screenplay together, a movie script. She actually wrote the book, and I wrote the screenplay, to be made into a movie. And it was this wonderful, fun thing that we were doing together. But I needed to now get the money to produce the film. And that's what I'm thinking is my big problem. So I went to some different business guys, and I remember talking to this one business guy, and I told him about my problem of needing to raise, X amount of dollars to create this film. And he said, Scott, that's actually not your problem at all. He said, your problem is distribution. He said, you can get people to fund this. You can get the money. You can produce it. You have the talents for that. But you're never going to get it seen because there are only 6 distributors out there, and everything, even the independent films, have to go through one of these 6 distributors in order to get into the movie theaters. You're never going to get your film seen. Well, I was dejected. I ended up going back to the corporate world, had to get a corporate job. And I remember paying attention, though, and watching as the world kind of started to change. And I remember when YouTube was bought for $1.65 billion. And I knew I'd been watching YouTube, what it was doing, and it changed, it leveled the playing field and made it so that anybody could get their ideas out there, heard and seen anywhere. Okay. YouTube changed the game. Well, not only has that changed, but also the ability to, or the limits on being able to produce your own things has changed. If you've been thinking that I can't get my stuff produced, it's a limiting belief. It's something that you just don't know what's possible, because it absolutely is possible, and it is easier to do than you might think. So I'm going to share with you, I'll go back to my slides. I'm going to share with you the impact to income video formula. Okay, this is how you can make a difference and make make money with doing videos, okay? By doing self-recorded videos. Now, first of all, you need to start out with a problem. Okay, entrepreneurs get paid by solving other people's problems. So you got to remember this. If somebody is in pain and you have the solution to their pain, then they will buy from you. If they don't have a pain or they don't see it as a pain, anyway, you start off with the struggle. You tell a story, you connect with them through story. Story is a wonderful way to do that. Then you come up to your solution bridge. This is where you have discovered this epiphany that's going to bring them over the chasm of all this failure and pain that they've been going through. And then you share with them the system to where they can get repeatable results. Now, when you do this and you share it on stage, and there are virtual stages right now, we're on stage. There are so many different stages that you can use to be able to get your ideas out there. Okay, if you use this formula, you can create video that will connect with your audiences and you can make a great difference in their lives. Okay, this is how you use video to serve, to sell, and to scale in remarkable ways. Okay, let me tell you a story real quick. There's a guy named Dane, a friend of mine, and he was a flat work guy. So in other words, he did cement. And he got kind of tired of coming home stinky and smelly and dirty all the time. And so he decided he was going to try something new, and he learned how to flip houses. He was pretty good at reconstruction stuff, and so he would redo houses. He'd find a way to get somebody to invest in him so that he could buy a house, flip it, and then together with the person that had invested in him, they'd share the profits. Well, he started to create this system, right? And he wanted to grow it. And so he had this great idea that he could teach other people to do what he was doing, and then he would have people to also invest with. Anyway, it was this great thing. He would get a house, he'd get it ready to, he'd redo it, get it ready to sell, and then he would invite a bunch of people over that were interested in flipping houses. He would teach them how to do that at the same time as he's showing this house that he then sells, and then teaches them how to do it, and they buy into them, and he has this great business working with them. Okay, COVID-19 hits. Suddenly he can't pack a house with a bunch of people because you can't do that anymore. And so he's thinking, man, my business is shot. Until he realizes, what if I bring in a camera? And he starts live streaming his lessons there. Okay, when he starts doing that, suddenly he's getting clients from 3 states away. He has exponentially grown his business. He's using video to serve, to sell, and to scale. Okay, that's what is possible for you. That's what the new wave of the web has brought to you, and that's what you can do using video. So, okay, so then maybe you're thinking, okay, well, I like this idea, but I don't have a huge following. What this is it's a limiting belief. Okay, so I'm going to share with you secret number 3. And secret number 3 is I call it the Spotlight 1000 strategy. This is how to make a difference with only a few people. Okay, so a lot of times when we think influencer or these people of influence, we think of like the Kardashians or Taylor Swift with what 129 million followers. Like these people that have massive influence, and we think we need to be like that in order to have some sort of business. Okay, when I was in advertising, the big name of the game was TV advertising. If you ran a TV ad, you were powerful. The only problem was, it was incredibly effective. Yes, absolutely. But it was also incredibly inefficient. You're broadcasting it to prairie dogs and rabbits. It goes out to everyone. And so it's really expensive, not efficient, but it's powerful. Well, what if you could take the same powerful tool, but make it efficient and effective? Okay, Kevin Kelly said you only need 1,000 true fans. Okay, this is a game-changing idea. Instead of the millions and millions of people you're trying to broadcast to, if you can focus on just 1,000 true fans, you can make an amazing, thriving online business. So here's how this works. Okay, we're going to do the math. I love this kind of math. Let's say that you have a $27 challenge, okay? And maybe you have a $10 ebook, and maybe you have a $67 group coaching experience. That's $104. Now you times that by 1,000 people, and you have $104,000. That's a pretty good living, right? Well, what if you have a $497 course? You times that by 1,000, that's $500,000. That's how the world has changed. Okay, when you use video, you can serve, you can sell, and it's the secret to scaling in remarkable ways. You can start with your 1,000 people. You can start with your 10 people or your 20 people. And when you use video, you can really connect with them. So I have a $497 course. Let's say at the end of this webinar, 25 people said, hey, I want to get in on that. That's $12,000 just for an hour's worth of work. And honestly, I wouldn't call this work at all, because I'm helping you get rid of your fears. I'm helping you get rid of your limiting beliefs. I'm showing you what's possible. I'm opening your eyes. I'm serving, serving, serving. I'm adding value to your life. Okay, that's what has changed right now when we use video to serve, sell, and scale, and we follow this Spotlight 1000 strategy. Okay, so here are the four principles, 4 steps. I guess it's principles of the Spotlight 1000. First of all, you show up, you stand out, you speak up, you serve right. Now, I'd love to have enough time to talk about each of these, but I'm just going to focus on stand out right now so you can see what it is we're talking about, and kind of, maybe that will explain a little bit more. So with this, let me just change my screen around. Okay, and turn this on. Okay, so here we go. So you need to stand out, okay? And what I'm showing you right now is a little, it's a snippet, it's a video I snapped while I was on a webinar somebody else was doing. And this webinar was helping coaches be able to grow their audiences. And so I'm thinking, okay, these are coaches that are just ready. All they need is an audience. As soon as they have an audience, they're going to be able to do remarkable things. But as I watched, I'm thinking, well, who's the leader here? Who's standing out? Who's the next person to be out leading this webinar? And if you look at it, I mean, guess, who would you be going, I want to know what she knows, or I want to know what he knows. Okay. You need to be able to stand out as a leader. Just using video, just having a video camera is not going to make that difference for you. You need to find a way to stand out. And right now is the perfect time to do that, because most people don't know that the third wave of the web is here. And so they are not using video in a way that helps them stand out. And so it makes it really easy for you to stand out. Okay. So I just shared that with you. So you need to stand out as a leader. And if you are an introvert, if you are a heart-centered entrepreneur and you show up authentically as yourself, you have all the advantages if you show up, if you stand out, if you speak up, and if you serve right. And right now is the perfect time for you to do that. Okay, so let me ask you, why did you choose to join me today? How is what you're currently doing working? Are you getting what you want? Are you getting the results that you want? Well, let me ask you a question. First of all, if you were to follow everything that I taught you in secret number 1, and what was secret number 1? My mind just drew a blank. Okay, if you were to follow everything that I just taught in secret number 1 and showed up authentically as yourself and connected with people, and then followed what I taught you in secret number 2 and actually recorded yourself, used the technology that's available today to record yourself, and then if you followed secret number 3 and you served even only 1,000 people remarkably, do you think you could have a successful business? Right? Pretty amazing, right? Okay, well, I have another question. Would you like some help? Would you like me to help you? Okay, awesome. Okay, and thank you very much for adding that into the chat. So video is the bridge. Video gets you from where you are right now to where you want to be. It helps you serve, sell, and scale. Okay, with that, let me just jump. I'm going to share with you my story, just kind of my story part B, part 2. So I failed. I had this game-changing idea to help teach the skills of happiness, to help people anyway they could change their life. I had this idea and it failed because I couldn't get it out there. So I had to go back to filmmaking, to kind of my daily work. And I remember when COVID-19 hit, like all of a sudden I couldn't travel, I couldn't have people come to my studio. I was shut down. And then I got a call from a friend, and she lives like 9 states away, and she said, Scott, you got to help me. You've got what I need. And I said, what are you talking about? She says, video. You know how to use video. I want to get my voice out there. I want to get my message out there. How do I do that? And I started thinking, how do I do that? Because I can't travel and set her up and everything like that. And so I started to teach her. I started to coach her on how to record herself, how to use the technologies that are out there. And now she's able to get her message out. Now her like she's calm. She feels like her voice is heard. She's making that difference. She's growing her business and she's using video. So with that, I have learned how to do a few things. So wink. So anyway, I have an offer here for you. I'm going to just make me a little bit smaller so you can see the slides a little bit better here. So I have an offer here for you, and I do ask you, would it be the worst thing in the world to take a shortcut to avoid the pain, of going the long way around, but to get to where you want to go faster? And if you're okay with taking a shortcut, I have a shortcut the process for you. Tool. Resource. And this is my Emerge Masterclass on how to serve, sell, and scale using trusted source video. What this is it's a 6-week masterclass where in week 1, we're going to talk about how to grow your business using innovative new video strategies. In week 2, we're going to talk about the impact to income video formula. In week 3, we're going to talk about overcoming the single biggest obstacle stopping you. You're going to be surprised by what that is. It's not technology. In week 4, we're going to talk about video production for people who have better things to do with their time than produce videos. You're going to love that one. Week 5, we'll talk about how to look, sound, and sell like a leader. And then in week 6, we're going to talk about systemizing this so you can create video, professional leadership quality video as easily as turning on a Zoom call. Okay, that you're going to get my years of advertising, as well as my years as a filmmaker, as well as my years as an entrepreneur, all rolled up to one. Okay, this is going to help those people who are just starting out, as well as those who are ready to scale. It's going to help those who are frustrated with marketing strategies that don't work, as well as those who want to avoid the frustrations in the first place. Who it won't help is people who are happy just where they're at. Okay, it won't help those who are satisfied with the level of success that they have already achieved. And honestly, early success can limit you because you don't see the possibilities and you're unwilling to go into that uncomfortable place. I mean, you get into your comfort zone, and the comfort zone is where people die and ideas die and growth dies. Okay, I want to get you out of that, and you need to be willing to be uncomfortable in order to really grow. And so this is really about radical change. Okay. Now, I remember talking to my son about the discomfort that I feel. This is the 13-year-old Padawan Jedi, and the 3-year-old Padawan Jedi. He's now 17, and I was talking to him about how uncomfortable I still feel in front of the camera, and how uncomfortable I feel having my image, pictures of me on my YouTube videos and stuff like that. And he said, "Yeah, but Dad, you never want to be just some guy." I thought that's so brilliant. You don't want to blend into the crowd. You don't want to just get stuck not getting your message out there. Okay, so with this 6-week masterclass on how to serve, sell, and scale using trusted source video, you're going to get all of these great tools that will help you actually get your message out there. Now, you may be thinking, okay, but how do I shoot my own video? I'm really excited to share this bonus with you. Like, this is so freaking cool. Okay, this is my A to Z video production toolkit for emerging influencers. And what this is it covers everything that you need to know. Like, I know you don't want to be a filmmaker. I know that you don't want to go back to school and learn all this stuff. You don't want to reinvent your life like that. You want to use video as a tool. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, but there's a headache between me and using it. Well, that's actually not true. Okay, this toolkit covers all of these great topics, but it's all focused on just-in-time learning. What that means is that you don't need to know everything. All you need to know is 3 things: where you're going, and what are the next 2 or 3 steps that you need to take to get there. Okay, when you do that, you're not overwhelmed and you're making great progress. So if you have a question on audio or camera, or how to do the editing, or what editing program to use, or how to outsource and hire an editor, or how to set up your studio, all of those ideas and thoughts are right there in the toolkit, the A to Z production toolkit. So it's all there for you, and you're ready to go. Now you may be thinking, okay, now which camera would you recommend? Okay, again, I have another great bonus that I'm adding to this bundle, and this is my gear guide. I buy a lot of equipment. Well, maybe not a lot of equipment, but I make sure that the equipment that I buy works and works well. And so I do a ton of research. I remember getting some camera batteries, and I thought, I'm going to save some great money on these. And I bought them, and then they failed quickly. And one of them actually expanded inside the camera, and I almost lost the camera. I do a ton of research before I ever buy a piece of equipment. I am happy to pass that information on to you. Doesn't mean that you have to buy everything that I do or do everything that I do, but I'm going to shortcut the process for you so you can at least start there and then start to read the reviews and then start moving forward. Okay. So, you're asking, okay, what would I recommend for microphone, for camera, for lights, for editing software, for mounting systems? You're going to get all of that in my updated gear guide. Okay, now you might also be thinking, okay, and now what do you do? I mean, I have a studio here. I mean, it's really just my office, but I've created this studio so it's super easy for me to be able to record stuff for live stream things. And I would love to share that idea with you. So you will also get my influencer studio setup blueprint that details how to do this so that you can record yourself professionally as easily as turning on a Zoom call. Okay, boom, going to add that to the bundle. Now you may be having some questions. I mean, maybe you've got some questions right now, but definitely you're going to have some questions as we get down the road. The best way to get those questions answered is in my private Facebook group, where not only will you get your questions answered from me, but also from other people who are in the same challenge that you're in and going through the same things, and they're going to have some innovative ideas. So with all of this, you get the masterclass, you get the video production toolkit, you get the gear guide, you get the studio setup blueprint, and you get your questions answered in my Facebook group. Pretty cool stuff, right? Okay, well, I remember years ago, Steve Jobs was wrapping up one of his Macworld conferences where he introduces new products, and he's kind of finishing that up. And then he walks over to this table and he says, I do have one more thing. And then on this table was this manila envelope, and he pulls out a laptop so thin it was hidden in that envelope. Well, I do have one more thing. And the cool thing about this, and I do have to tell you, it's a limited thing. It's only for the first 30 people that get this, because I need to be judicious with my time, and I want to allocate my time only to the activities that I think are going to make the greatest difference. And I think this is going to make the greatest difference for you. So what I have here is, for a limited bonus, you can get a personal video review of your video from me. So what are you going to get? Like, you can see I've won a bunch of awards. You're going to get my years of it as an advertiser, my years experience as a filmmaker. You're going to get my years of experience as a entrepreneur who's been able to pull out his entrepreneurial dreams out of the trash. And so I'll be able to help you in all those different areas with your videos to help them truly connect with people so that you can make that difference. Okay, that is the full Emerge Masterclass bundle. I call it the ultimate bundle. Okay, and I hope you're feeling something right now. I hope you're feeling excited and interested and eager and all that great stuff. And I hope you can see yourself leading and teaching and serving and persuading and influencing people and changing from that one-to-one model to a one-to-many, where you can truly use video to 10x your influence. Okay. Now, what is the true value of this when it changes your life? I mean, I know that I put a number on there, and I don't know if you're thinking that number's high or low, when you're comparing what your life will be like when you get over this obstacle. Well, I do, and maybe, I don't know where you're at with that, but I am super happy to share this with you, that I am offering this entire ultimate bundle for just $9.97. Isn't that awesome? You get all of this great stuff for less than $1,000. You're going to be able to make that difference. You're going to be able to start using video to really get out there and make that difference. Oh, you know what? I just realized I need to let you know how to get this. Okay, so you just type in this URL into another web browser to buy the masterclass. So it's scottwilhite.com/emerge. And actually, I'll walk you through how to do this. So you just open up another web browser, and then you type in scottwilhite.com/emerge. And with that, you'll see a little orange button on there. Click the orange button. You'll come to this page where you can enter your name and your email address and click another orange button. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, wait, what's all included in this ultimate bundle? Just scroll down. You'll see everything. Scroll back to the top of the page, enter your name, your email address. You're going to get to the order form. Okay, you enter your name in here. Well, it's already got your name in here, but your shipping address, you're going to get your billing address down there. Enter your credit card, and then when you've completed that, you're going to get this congratulations message, and you will see a little button there that says access your bundle now. You click that, and that takes you to where you can set up your membership page. Okay, you pick your password, and there you're ready to go into the whole Emerge Masterclass bundle. Right at the top, you're going to see everything for the Masterclass. Okay, you're going to want to start with that first video because it's going to explain the masterclass thing, how the next video comes in, and how you get started. Then you click right into lesson number 1, and you can get started instantly. Awesome stuff. You'll see below that is everything you need for the A to Z video production toolkit, all perfectly organized for you. Again, this is just-in-time learning. You don't need to feel overwhelmed because all you need to know is where you're going and what the next 2 or 3 steps are. Okay, scroll down to the page. You're going to get the gear guide. You're going to get the studio setup blueprint. You're going to get access into the Facebook group, and away you go. Super simple. So you just add in, wouldn't it be nice if there was just a clickable button? But since this is on YouTube, we kind of can't do that. So you just type in scottwilhite.com/emerge to be able to get that. Okay, so right now you have 2 options. You could, first of all, option 1, you could try to figure out how to create trusted source video on your own, but you'll run the risk of being at the same place this time next year, having wasted tons of time and money. Or option number 2 is that you could commit to growing your influence and your business by creating trusted source videos using a proven roadmap. I kind of like the proven roadmap idea because here's what you're going to overcome. You're going to overcome your fear of being on camera, your fear of putting yourself out there. You're going to get rid of that paralyzing perfectionism. You're going to get rid of that fear of tech overwhelm or those limiting beliefs about what you can do, and definitely get rid of that doubt over your self-worth. Okay. With this, I'm going to change my screen around. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Roger Bannister principle. So you know who Roger Bannister was? He was the guy that first broke the 4-minute mile. Now, for 60 years, they had been trying to break the 4-minute mile, and they couldn't do it. And doctors finally said, you know what? The human body is not capable of running the mile in under 4 minutes. It's not possible. Well, Roger didn't believe it. And on a rainy day in England, he broke the 4-minute mile. But more than just that record, he broke something that was even more important, because 46 days later, not only was the 4-minute mile broken, but his own record was broken. And a year later, the 4-minute mile was broken by 3 people in the same race. See, what he broke was our limiting beliefs. He broke this ceiling where we thought we can't go that far. And suddenly he just opened up the world to us. So Roger Bannister made us see what's possible. I hope as you've attended my web class today, I hope as you've looked at me with all of my insecurities, all of my weaknesses, all of my mistakes, and you see that I'm just running this on my own, I hope that you see what's possible. That you think, oh my goodness, if Scott could do it, I could do it. Okay. Yes, it is absolutely possible for you to get your ideas out there, to grow your business, grow your impact using the power of trusted source video. And I hope as I have demonstrated this to you, you've been able to look in my eyes. You've been able to hear the sincerity of my voice, and you've been able to see, yeah, that's someone I know, like, and trust. And he did it because he created trusted source video. That's what your opportunity is. Okay. See what you can do when you can see what you can do. Okay. There's a house that's, I don't know, it's just a couple of miles away from me right now. And I call it the sad house. Really, it's a gorgeous, beautiful, amazing house. The garage is so big, you can park 2 Greyhound buses side by side in it. It's incredible. The roof line is amazing. The stonework around is so beautiful. What I find sad is that it is surrounded by this chain link fence and this construction fence. And whenever I drive by, I see this guy pushing a wheelbarrow or carrying some supplies, and he's working on his house. And I just think, how sad. Don't go it alone. Hire a crew, get people to go with you, get people to get you there quickly so that you're not working on your house or working on your business. You're actually living in it and enjoying it. Okay. So years ago, I was doing, I told you about my app, create this app. It's called Feed Your Happy. When I was trying to get it produced, I remember going around shopping the idea to a few technology places. And I talked to this one guy, and I showed him, the demo of what I'd created and told him all the things it could do and how it used positive psychology. And he got so excited. He said, Scott, you need to do a Kickstarter campaign. Now, do you know what a Kickstarter campaign is? It's where, anyway, it revolves around a video showing the person who came up with the idea on their great idea and how it could work. And then all of these people buy into this prototype, and they buy it in advance so that it can actually be done. And he's so excited. He runs over to his computer and he shows me this lady that did another Kickstarter campaign, and she had a gratitude journal. And she's like, Scott, her gratitude journal does this and this and this, and your app is going to do this and this and this and this and this. It's going to be amazing. You're going to get tons of people buying into this. It's going to blow up. This is going to be incredible. Well, as he's sharing this with me, I start to get really dizzy. And in fact, I had to sit down and slump down onto his leather couch. I thought I was going to throw up or pass out because I knew that it would require me to be on camera. It would require me to be in front of the video camera. And that just terrified me. And I kind of wonder what would have happened had I not been afraid to be on camera, had I not been afraid to do a Kickstarter campaign. Wherever you're at, with whatever you're doing, don't let your fears, your limiting beliefs, don't let these things keep you living small. Get your message out there. Really make that difference. Video makes that difference. Okay, so think about, why did you come here today? Maybe you came here because you're tired. You're exhausted from too much one-on-one work, and you want to be able to choose when you work and who you work with. Or maybe you're here because you're worried. You're afraid that your entrepreneurial dreams are going to get washed away and you're going to have to go or stay at a 9-to-5 job. Or maybe you're scared. You're anxious that you may not be able to get your voice out there and your ideas out there, and that they will one day die within you, still in you. Okay? Well, when I was there, when I was frustrated, when I was not using video to serve, sell, and scale, there was something that kept me going. And that was a quote by Winston Churchill. He said, never give up on something you can't go a day without thinking about. If you have been there, if you have been frustrated, if you have been wanting to get your message out there, video is so the way to do it. Please remember that you have the power to do this, and let me help you. If you just go to scottwilhite.com/emerge, you'll be able to type in, you'll be able to get my ultimate bundle. You'll be able to start moving forward. You'll be able to start using video so that you can be that trusted source. That's the secret. And I'm so happy to share that with you. Let me just check and see if I have missed anything here. It looks like I got everything there. So yeah, there's there isn't a clickable link in the chat. I forgot to put that in there. But just type this URL in, scottwilhite.com/emerge. I'm happy to help you get to where you're going quicker. I'm happy to help you get your voice out there. I'm happy to live your mission, your calling, your purpose, your big purpose, so that you can truly make that difference that you know you can make. Thank you so much for joining me today.